Good morning, grade 5 students. Today in this session we are going to move into lesson 10 about the decomposers. As we know before, so decomposers, as we said yesterday, that they are the small animals like the earthworm, for example, that comes at the end of any food chain by which it decomposes or break down the dead material of the last consumer. What does this mean? Let's move back now to the previous page. For example, in this activity or in this document, I have here first food chain and second food chain. The first food chain consists of 3 links. The first link, the second link, and the third link. While chain 2 consists of 4 links. These are the 4 links. And of course, as we know that each link or element is arranged according to what they eat. So the R here means is eaten by. I can say now the grass is eaten by the rabbit is eaten by the owl. Or for example here in the second one, the leaf is eaten by the cockchafer or cockroach, we can say also. This one is eaten by the blackbird and this is eaten by the fox. So the last consumer here is the fox. Look at the fox here. Is there another animal comes after the fox? Yes, no, of course no. Thanks, Tia. Of course no animal comes after this fox. So the fox is the last consumer. But what happens when the fox dies? Let's see what will happen. When the fox dies, its body is decomposed into minerals. Thanks, Hassan. You can lower your hands now, teacher. Its body is decomposed into minerals because it is buried in the soil. But which living things now decompose and break down these minerals? Which living things live in the soil and take the minerals of the dead body of the fox? Who can tell me? Which living beings can break down this material and change it to the soil? Let me ask Hassan now.
Yes, the blackbird.
Okay, what Karim?
Yes, when it died, there is nobody to eat because that she did.
Yes, of course, thanks a lot. What, Julia?
The insect fox, the dead fox.
Insects. Oh, thanks a lot, teacher. So, as we know that insects like ants or other insects and the earthworms live in the soil. So these earthworms, when you die and other animals when they die, these earthworms come to break down and take all the minerals of this dead body and return them to the soil in order to fertilize the soil and make it better for planting. So these decomposers or these animals are called decomposers. Let's continue now. So now decomposers are the living things that break down or feed on dead leaves, dead animals and fallen branches and transform into soil. So these earthworms or these decomposers can feed, they eat dead leaves, all dead bodies. What are some examples of decomposers rather than the earthworms? If we look at the first line here in this text, we can say that decomposers are many. For example here, worms, spiders, ants, snails, centipedes, earthworms, of course, also mushroom, etc. There are many living things that are known as decomposers. In this activity, we are going to find or recognize some decomposers in the soil. Let's see and observe this document. This document tells me that during a field trip in the forest, the students of grade 5 like you were able to observe some living things by lifting the leaves of the forest floor little. So, during the school trip, some grade 5 students as you found some living things, some small living beings, organisms on the floor or on the ground. Let's recognize and identify the names of these living things. The first photo represents the woodlouse. This woodlouse is found or can only make holes in the wood. That's why it's called woodlouse, because we have also another louse, head louse. Okay, you know that what is head louse. Slug, kind of mollusks, whitish filaments of mushroom, some white substances on the mushroom leaf, centipede, and earthworm. These are some examples of decomposers. Now, who can tell me what can these decomposers do? What can these decomposers do?
The animals that dies.
Excellent. They eat the dead bodies of animals. Excellent. Celine, what about your answer, teacher?
They take
Excellent. When they feed on these living things, they take all the minerals in order to transform them into the soil. Very excellent, students. Thanks a lot. So, Tia, please, can you name again, please, these living things shown in this document? Please name these decomposers again. What are these?
Yes. Woodlouse, slug, centipede, and earthworm.
Yes. Woodlouse, slug, centipede, earthworm, and mushroom. We can say also mushroom. Thanks a lot, teacher. Now, as a repetition, we can say that decomposers are small living beings that can feed on dead material of any living thing, or we can say also can feed on dead leaves, dead animals, dead plants. So these living things are known as decomposers, and this page includes some decomposers. Now, I can say that a food chain can be complete or incomplete. How can this happen? Let's see. How can I say that this food chain is complete or incomplete? Does anyone know the answer before I start explaining? Complete or incomplete food chain? I can help you now. Wait, Hussein, just a minute. I can help you now by telling you that as we know before, each food chain is made of producers, or includes producers or producer, only one producer, and consumer. But how can we say that this food chain is complete or incomplete? Let me ask Hussein Dilbani now. Okay, Jude. Thanks, Hussein. How can we say, Jude, that a food chain is complete or incomplete?
There is body in the food chain.
Yes,
Then
thanks.
another animal is the insect.
Excellent, thanks a lot. Let me ask another student, Hassan.
Yes,
Yes, Miss Zainab.
the affected change is not complete because you don't put decomposer.
Thanks,
Miss, yes, when we have decomposers and the
the
last
chain is
the
called,
last
yes.
animal say the insect or the animals, the other animals eat it.
Excellent teacher, thanks a lot. Kareem, what about you? Okay. So let's explain how can we say that this food chain is complete or incomplete. If this food chain ends with a decomposer, so this food chain is complete. If there is no decomposer at the end of this food chain, so this food chain is incomplete. So, I can say again that a food chain is said to be complete if it ends with a decomposer, and as we said before that some examples of decomposers are like earthworm, spider, centipede, okay, and etc. So these decomposers, Kareem, live in the soil, and when the animals die, they take the minerals of this dead animal and return them to the soil as minerals for the plants. Now, if we look at this food chain, which is made of 4 links, what is the last consumer, or what is the last link? What is the last link here? Okay, Rahab, what is the last link here?
Fox.
Fox. Is fox a decomposer?
Yeah.
So the fox is not a decomposer, it's a consumable, and in definite meaning, it is a carnivore because it eats other animals. So, is this food chain complete or incomplete, Ali Lazer? Is this food chain, Ali Lazer, this food chain does not have a decomposer. So, is it complete or incomplete?
It's incomplete.
Excellent, Ali, thanks a lot. So, decomposers are small living beings or small living things that can break down the dead material of other animals or other living things and transform them to the soil as minerals for the plants. This is all about the definition and the role of decomposers for this session. We are going to continue later. Thanks.